Well, at the Rising Rajasthan Investment Summit, Business Today TV's coverage is ongoing, and presently we are one of the exposition areas where various partner countries and various industries have shown interest, and of course MOUs worth about 35 lakh odd crores have been announced and signed, but it's upon the bureaucracy to actually implement it on the ground. And of course, one of the biggest subsidiary of the government of Rajasthan in the industries sector is of course RIICO, and I'm joined by the MD, Mr. Inderjit Singh, who's of course at the charge of it. Thank you, Inderjit sir, for speaking to us at Business Today TV. I want to ask you, 30 lakh crores is what the MOUs have been signed off. You are hugely responsible for implementing it on the ground, and providing that particular land so that easily things happen. No red tapeism the companies have to see. So what's the strategy? How are you going to implement this on the ground?
So we have to be very clear that the first year of the government, and the government has planned and executed an investment summit which is of this grand scale. And it's not just focused only internally, it is also a huge global outreach that has happened. More than 37 countries are participating. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Industries Minister, they led very strategic delegations, be it to Japan, be it to South Korea, be it to UK, Germany, Singapore. All these countries, they were having a specific focus. So for example, when we go to Japan, we already know that Rajasthan has a Japanese zone. There is an auto manufacturing focus that is happening there. Likewise, when we visited Singapore, where Singapore is already not invested in Rajasthan yet, but we understand how they're working on industrial parks, how they are focusing on sustainable industrial parks, which probably have a lot of sustainability inbuilt. Likewise, when we go to Saudi, when we go to UAE, we understand that there is huge investment which could flow in. We have to give them investable projects. It can be Rajasthan Petro Zone, which we can pitch it to them. Likewise, logistics is something which is very critical, and renewable, you already know. Having said that, the global outreach part is one of the components, and there are other things on which RIICO needs to focus right now. As you mentioned, it's not 30 lakh, it's 35 lakh crore MOUs which already have been signed. And Honorable Chief Minister has been very clear from day one that as soon as the summit ends, even before that, the clock has started ticking, because a lot of MOUs were signed during our Delhi, our Bombay roadshow. So we have already started focusing on MOUs. All the MOUs have unique IDs, and RIICO's role, as you rightly mentioned, is very critical. RIICO is one of the agency which provides land at affordable rates, and not only land, we also are responsible for development of that land, for the facilities, be it road, be it electricity, be it water. And water, though being a scarce resource, not only in Rajasthan but across, these are the challenges which are being met by RIICO. So to give you an example, Jodhpur, Pali, Marwada industrial area, which is one of the 12 nodes which have been selected by NICDC to have huge industrial hubs. RIICO is specially spending more than 200 crores to get water from the Indira Gandhi Canal all the way there. Likewise, for a ceramic zone, which is going to come up in say Soniana, Bhilwara or in Bikaner, the cheap availability of gas is something which is a natural ingredient, is a raw power which is required. So all these components, RIICO has already started working. There are few policies which have been launched, MSME policy and others, they are already there. But we are working on something called land aggregation policy.
Sorry to interrupt, but we'll come to that in a different part. I want to ask you now that there are 3 to 4 industrial important key areas of focus for Rajasthan. Be it mining, be it ceramics, be it auto components. Rajasthan has actually a lot of resources and manpower, and of course investments already done. How are you now shaping up the policy? You just mentioned about the land bank policy. What is that, and how is it going to impact the upcoming industries that are coming up in Rajasthan now?
All right. So very strategically, Rising Rajasthan is focusing on the replete component. We have 3 buzzwords: replete, we have responsible, and we have a ready component, which we are focusing on. So when we say that Rajasthan is replete, it means that be it the mineral wealth that we have, be it the refinery that has already come up, the downstream industry that we are planning, likewise land. Honorable Prime Minister, while in the inaugural session, that not only the Rajasthan state as such is the largest state, he also focused on the land availability components. As you can see behind the PM Gati Shakti, infra, the industrial sectors which we are focusing on. So you're right while you say that all these sectors need to be focused on, but there are some policy, refinements which are required. So one of the major challenge that industrialists feel is not only timely availability of land but also affordability. So in that, RIICO is working on a direct land allotment regulation in which we already have drafted. It is notified. It is in the public domain, where direct land allotment is going to be something which industry's demand has been there for many years. Likewise, we are working on a land aggregation policy. The draft is already with the cabinet. In that also, land for land is something which helps the farmers and the private landowners to part away with the land, because they get developed land in return of the land that they are parting with. Likewise, we are going to bring in a private industrial park policy. These days, apart from the real estate developers, we have seen that there is a slow shift from the real estate developers to the private industrial parks. Their sizes might be smaller, but that is exactly what the MSMEs and what the tier 2 and tier 3 cities need. So Rajasthan is focusing on all those components, understanding where the government of India's focus is and trying to align itself according to that vision.
All right. So, given the government's focus, I want to ask you if you could give us some numbers as to what are the sunrise sectors that you are seeing that are approaching the government of Rajasthan for investments, and how much has it been done over a period of 1 year or probably like that? Any number you could give us, and the name of sunrise sectors that you're also bullish on and demand is also coming up.
Right. So NCR area, especially the Bhiwadi, Kushkheda, this area is something which is going to have a very natural spillover effect or a trickle down effect from the NCR. So when it comes to the sunrise sectors which we are focusing on, I would say the opportunities today, they are galore. We understand how the IT and ITES business has changed post-COVID. So we are already getting a lot of interest by the big IT companies. You understand how global capability centers, the GCCs, earlier they were all trying to focus on the south, but we have got very unique interest in Jaipur. We have a 100-acre plot right near the Jaipur airport, wherein a lot of big software giants, they are trying to bring in their GCCs. So naturally for us, IT is something which is going to be a focus. Secondly, I would say that the new Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, this whole belt, though it falls in the NCZ zone, National Capital, Conservation Zone, but during that phase, we are also working on medical tourism. We are understanding that we are close to the Jaipur and Delhi airport. The land availability is quite good. We are focusing on that. And to talk about EV, to talk about renewables, if you see our policy, the new Rajasthan investment promotion policy, if you've seen that, 2024 just launched, a lot of sectors are specially focused on. And the kind of interest, to give you an example, in solar module manufacturing, the fact that Rajasthan is consuming, these solar panels at this scale, why not manufacture in Rajasthan, right? So a special incentive package has been planned accordingly. So there are so many sectors in which we would expect the industry to have that keen interest, and the kind of response that we've got post these policies is very, very good. And we are hopeful that this Rising Rajasthan Summit is going to be a curtain raiser for the next 4 years of this government.
Towards my end, sir, I want to ask you, you just mentioned about the policy that was just launched, and my interest went towards renewables. Rajasthan is a state naturally blessed with good sunlight. So when you mention about not only, having it, but also manufacturing it, do you also plan to give any incentives kind of a policy or a scheme to people who are coming up and setting up solar plants or solar manufacturing facilities? Any incentive on there, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was mentioning, that when I talk about RIPS 2024, in that, if you are going to have your manufacturing plants here, you are going to get, subsidy on SGST. The state component of the GST, you're going to get some kind of interest subsidy there. And likewise, those who are going to buy from the same manufacturers who are based in Rajasthan, they will also get that partial benefit. So a lot of backward integration has already started happening. Those who are already in the setting up of these huge solar plants, they are trying to have very close to the source. For example, the western Rajasthan, Jodhpur to be specific, Kankani area, the industrial area, has been completely earmarked for renewable manufacturing. So likewise, the interest says that the business is making sense there.
Right. Well, of course, it's the whole thing is about implementing the MOU that we all spoke about. Thank you so much, Inderjit sir, for speaking to us. But that was Inderjit Singh, Managing Director of RIICO, mentioning about how various policies have been drafted over a period of year to ensure the ease of doing business part is also being taken care of. And of course, land bank that they have huge, about 40,000 odd acres you have in RIICO, with RIICO. So clearly, various policies coming out with camera person Manish in Jaipur at Rajasthan Summit. This is Chetan Bhutani for Business Today Television.